Welcome, everybody, to the Snoozers Football Podcast Show. Sun's out, shoes off, Zachary. Nobody even knows what goes on behind the audio. They don't even know the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this. Take a sip of water and take me.
I'm just taking the cap off.
Yeah, we should just take the cap off. You just look how good we look, actually. That's good. Like that camera last time, it was like from like across the
way.
We sound crazy if we're talking audio only, which we might be. But hey, NFL Week 10.
Week 10.
Week 10.
Double digits.
It was a good one.
Yeah. I think a really good one.
What do you want to talk about?
What I said, best week of football, in between a turd bowl sandwich.
Yes, we had boring primetime, awful primetime, and then Sunday night was awful primetime. And even tonight, we're recording this Monday evening. Even tonight, Monday Night Football might be it might be like a Big Mac turd. I don't know. What do you put two on? I don't know.
Put two what? What are you
like
talking
two
about?
like so you think like the bottom is a turd and then it's good and then there's a turd on top. But then what?
Nothing good that can go in between two turds and you'd be happy.
It's like an Olive Garden if they like then grated a little bit of turd on top.
Let's talk about football.
Let's talk about football. What is the show about if this is their first listen?
I don't know, man. Olive Garden is good though. All you can eat.
You like Olive Garden?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
authentic Italian cuisine.
What's your go-to?
We usually go. Alyssa and I will usually go and get the never-ending salad and soup and salad.
Of course.
Yeah,
You're
what soup do you think I get?
You obviously you're a meaty guy, so you're a big guy like
the
Bane.
zuppa.
The zuppa, that's the one.
That
you love that zuppa,
that's
right?
it, baby.
The breadsticks, and you dip them in, let them kind of hang out for a minute, so we get a little bit of love.
Yep. All right, dude. Let's get into some football. I suppose
It's like the viewers. It's like we're a waitress at Olive Garden. It's like say when you're ready for us to talk about football.
Yeah, and we're just keep on grading.
They're saying win right now. We might never talk about football again.
Yeah. Dude, I'm upset because the Red Wings are giving out.
No, we're not talking about.
Dude,
we're not
real
talking.
Quick. The Red Wings on the game either before the night before Thanksgiving, I think it is, or on Thanksgiving. They're giving out a gravy. It's a Zamboni, but it's a gravy pour thing.
Oh, like a gravy boat, but a Zamboni.
Yes, and I'm sick, dude.
Just one or to everybody?
I think it's like the first 10,000 fans, whatever it is.
The first 10,000?
I don't know.
That has to be a ridiculous investment.
Yeah, I don't know, but I want one.
Are we going?
So somebody's going to the Red Wings game. I'll take one.
One of
All
us.
right,
we can write it off as a business expense.
Yeah, we're there. Okay.
So let's get into Week 10 of the NHL season. Calgary Flames?
Yeah, dude. Name 5 cities in Canada.
We did this bit again.
I know. Lions, Chargers, barn burner is what I want to talk about. I'm amped up about it.
It was a good football game.
Yeah. Holy shnikes.
Just good, right?
Yeah,
I'll let you, like, this is your team. I'll let you, you're back today. So
observations and takeaways. I thought the Lions played really well. Say what you want about their defense. We won the game. So, would I have loved for the Chargers to not score that many points? Absolutely. But retrospectively looking at it, like, you have 3 elite players at skill positions, right? Herbert, Eckler, and Keenan Allen, who all had a pretty good day.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, like I don't care if it's as cliche as it is, right? I don't care if we win, 7-6 or we win 41-38. Like, dude, we won. I don't care.
You find a way.
I honestly thought we looked pretty good. Mm-hmm. We had some struggles on defense, but like offensively, our offensive line was really good. I thought they gave Jared a lot of time to throw, even on the runs. Like we had like, I don't know, 150 yards rushing or something at halftime.
Insane.
There's a couple plays where, you go back and you see some highlights. It's kind of cool because on TikTok you'll see people breaking down plays and whatnot. And there was one play where it was, I think, 2nd and short or 3rd and short, where it was like literally we just needed 2 yards for a first down. And it was like a stretch play to the right. And the whole offensive line just moved their defensive line to the point where, like, David Montgomery didn't make contact through the hole
That's
like
crazy.
5 yards down the field.
That's
like
crazy.
he was already past the first down before he like got in between the two linemen. Like
That's
they
so
literally
awesome.
just, man, it was a really good play. I thought they played really well. Offense played well. Dan Campbell coached his ass off. Like, you know, say what you want about it, but like, dude, coaches the win, man.
So this is the thing. First off, did you see his post-game speech? Of
Yeah.
course you did.
Yeah.
I send it to you?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
But
Yeah.
you probably saw it 10 times before
Yeah.
that, you know? But it's really cool because, you know, he's like, we won. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but guess what? That's what good football teams win these sorts of games, right?
Yeah.
And I keep getting flashes of, because you said it right there, is he coaches to win. He doesn't coach to not lose, that we see a lot. And I see a lot of obviously completely different personalities, completely different teams, but I see a lot of 2017 Doug Peterson in them when Peterson and the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl, because like that 4th and 2,
That's what I'm saying, dude.
like that 4th and 2, dude.
There was 1:47 left on the clock.
Yeah.
You could have kicked I want to say it was a 45-yard field goal. Right?
Which Riley Patterson has done,
Yeah,
and like it's not a gimme, but it's
yeah,
there.
But he's a good enough kicker indoors.
Yep. But
But
then
you could have went up by 3. Hypothetically, there's a $1.40 left on the clock, and you give it to Justin Herbert, who's
been
red
shredding
hot.
you all day. Yeah.
But instead, you go for it on 4th and 2, roll the dice, and you kick a field goal to win the game.
I think 28 or 29 other coaches in the league, they kick that field goal, and then Herbert puts it up.
Yeah.
And I mean that is same old Lions.
Yeah, and I watched a breakdown of that 4th and 2 play as well, where kind of the concept and whatnot, where he actually had, if you go back and watch it, so he ended up hitting Laporta in like a little zone gap there. He probably actually also, if he wanted to, would have had Khalif Raymond coming back on what they call, it was kind of like a little whip route or like a little cowboy route, where he actually goes. Leaf acts like he's going to go out, and then he comes back in, kind of like a whip. And he actually probably would have had Khalif on that as well, because the defender was a few yards behind him if he wanted to. It would have been a longer throw. It was just past the sticks, but just farther out. But, I mean, it was a great read to get it to Laporta.
It was awesome.
Laporta had some big catches yesterday.
I'm a really big fan of, so I really like that. I even sent like a meme to the fantasy chat, about David Montgomery not being used as much. Gibbs. Yeah. Like Gibbs being used more than Montgomery. But I love teams that run the football, and I feel like it's week 10, right? Yeah. I feel like the backfield is finally evolving into this two-headed dragon they wanted it to be. And this was the first time where I'm like, wow, like people who win Super Bowls, they can beat you in multiple ways. And I used to think like the Lions, obviously they can air it out. Amon-Ra can do it. Laporta's coming in, but their run game was really effective in the red zone, but maybe not so. Like they didn't have that explosiveness, and we saw it 2 times yesterday. So
from both backs.
So they jumped. Yeah, from both backs.
So and just to piggyback off of that, like you're making winning plays. Like you can say what you want about J-Mo, but like without his block, dude, Montgomery's not scoring a touchdown.
And this is. No, because Raymond got that other one.
Which one?
A couple weeks ago. That huge block upfield, right?
I don't remember. Probably.
Or Reynolds. It was Reynolds. When he leveled him.
Oh, yeah, that's Craig Reynolds.
Yeah, Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But still, like that.
Like torpedo block.
But the team's bought in.
Brown.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
I mean, it's like you see Montgomery come around, and then you see like J-Mo blocking, and it's obviously like a play where Montgomery makes a little cutback, and so like J-Mo's kind of on the backside, so you kind of see him do like
Montgomery does a cut on the 40-yard line,
and
it's insane. Like it would be so cool if you had like a rear view mirror, because when you can do a cut like that in midfield, and then there's a pile of 3 Chargers behind him. It must have been like if he could have looked back, be like, I just made those 3 guys crash into each other because they thought they had me dead to rights.
But yeah, I mean like. You see how fast J-Mo is, because he David Montgomery runs past him, and then he like goes to the block, and J-Mo just catches up to him like big deal.
He's gonna be juiced
but
up.
Makes that last block on the guy that was gonna probably push Montgomery out of bounds, but then he also knocks down another Charger. That Charger knocks down another Charger, and Montgomery tiptoes down and scores. But like that's the difference between that being a huge play, right? Where I don't know where he would have stepped out at. I think it was like the 20.
Yeah.
But like who knows what happens. If he goes out at the 20, we may not get any points off of that. But instead, because he goes down and blocks, like that's 6 points in a shootout game that you need.
Yep.
It's just game.
I think I could. I think it's over 50% chance that the Lions end up with the number 1 seed. Because they have the most favorable schedule, pretty much outside of everybody except the Cowboys, and we don't talk about the Cowboys, but there's a.
I just wanted to see it too, like how we kind of reacted, because although the Chargers, I have on here the Chargers dropped to 4-5, Lions are now 7-2. Although they do have a losing record, like if you go and look at the Chargers' schedule, they've lost to nothing but good teams.
Really?
Yeah, and
they're a good team, man, but they just can't win when they're supposed to. They're
definitely not a team that you can like sleep on, right?
Your phone's going through like light and dark mode like crazy. You see that?
But like if you go to
God, look at that! Like that's a really high scoring game. Holy cow!
I know it's crazy, but let's go back to ESPN because this thing
NFL is garbage. They tried to sponsor us, we won't let them.
So like if I just wanted to make a point here about the Chargers being 4-5. You look at their losses. Their losses this season are to the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, us, and then am I missing somebody? Cowboys, Chiefs, Vikings. So yeah, they're 4-5. But yeah, losing to nothing but good teams, dude.
Yeah.
So they've got pieces. Man.
Yeah.
So like you can't. My point is you can't take them lightly. They lost to the Titans in overtime. That's their one bad loss. Titans in overtime. Yeah. So that's a bad loss. But other than that, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs.
Was that the Will Levis game though?
I don't.
No,
believe
that's
so.
Way too early.
Yeah, that was like week 2.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, man, they've got so many good pieces. I think that they're being misused, and without a couple of their star players, like they probably would have been a blowout yesterday, right? But yeah, one thing I really love too is Tony Romo. We were on CBS yesterday because it was a Chargers broadcast. So Tony Romo is on D-Lions hype train. Since the day, like since the moment the broadcast came on. Good. Like Romo was all over it, and like throughout, like saying, even like they closed with saying like, this is a team like you could very well see in the Super Bowl. Like they are a Super Bowl caliber team.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do on a physical, molecular level?
I might just,
because you've never been there.
I might just combust.
You've never like. That's crazy, man.
I don't know.
That's so exciting.
I've obviously like thought about it. Like I kind of think it would be cool to like get everybody that I know and like try to like watch the game to get like a banquet or like a banquet hall or something.
But don't you like to be
like Olive Garden?
Don't you like to be like alone in the game?
I mean, I do, but if it was Super Bowl, I think it'd be different.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. We won't get ahead of ourselves, but really, really fun game. I thought the Lions played well. You can say what you want about their defense, but I mean,
hey, man. He was lost to the goddamn Jets.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think about it? I mean, did you watch the full game yesterday?
I did not watch
Red Zone.
Yeah, I was watching Red Zone, but I favorite looking up highlights and stuff because Lions are my number 2 team. No, I think I already said it. Like they're finally finding ways to where they can beat you multiple ways. Defense be damned, but they were going against a very, very good offense. Yeah. I don't think you can put any credence on that. I think you're putting too much. Like that's sometimes just what happens. Yeah. Yeah. So no, I'm all aboard the hype train. I think there's a very real world where they get the number 1 seed. Yeah. I think they have a 97% chance to make the playoffs. Like they're pretty much in, barring an absolute collapse.
Vikings are.
Are
hot on our ass, though,
we will talk about the Vikings in the Week 10 recap.
Yeah, Vikings are looking very, very good. So we'll get into the Week 10 recap right off the jump, dude. 5 game-winning field goals. So like not like, hey, we kicked a field goal with 30 seconds and they throw like 3 Hail Marys and we win the game. No, these are as time expired. That's a record.
Yep.
5 games, including the Lions, Chargers. But like that.
We touched on this a couple weeks ago, and now it's doubling down. Remember, like kickers are getting better.
Yeah.
And it's like Like, it was insane. 5-game winning, like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So,
very exciting week.
Yeah, so we'll kind of go through it, but Bears, Panthers, we already went over that.
Yeah, we talked about it, and I never want to think about that game again.
Your boy Will Levis takes a big old fat L to my boy Baker Mayfield.
He did.
20-6.
Why is mine?
It's because I have the Titans as well.
Oh, yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield looks good. The Titans look bad.
Yeah. I think it's always with a grain of salt, right? And we'll kind of get into it. I think as far as, like, the good teams, right, there's some elite teams. If you're tiering these teams, right, there's some elite teams. There's some mid-level teams. And then there's some basement dwellers, right? And I think, like, you get kind of excited when your mid-level team plays a basement dweller team, and I think –
You think Titans are basement?
I think I don't think they're basement. I think they're fringe, mediocre. Like, if we're talking power rankings, I'm probably putting them like in the 20 range because they have Derrick Henry. They can beat you. Their defense. Mike Vrabel's a good coach.
Yeah, they're bottom rung of the mediocre.
I think they're better than like the shitty teams, but I don't think they're as good as like some of these mid-level teams.
Yep. They're kind of forgettable.
Like I think the Buccaneers. I mean, obviously we can go off this score, 20-6, right? I think the Buccaneers are like a good, a good poster child, if I may, for like the mid-level teams, right? But yeah, so Buccaneers win that game, much needed win for the Buccaneers.
Yes.
So they're still chasing that NFC South.
This is a very exciting, like, we're kind of downplaying it. We talk about it like 2-3 times a week, but like this is a very exciting year. Like, there's a few garbage teams, but everything else is like up for grabs. There's no runaways. Like, it's crazy. There's not nearly enough playoff spots for all these teams.
We'll talk about some of these division games too. Like,
we'll get in.
But like how important some of these are, and these are like the rivalries where you just throw everything out the window, and anybody can beat anybody. Colts beat the Patriots.
So Colts beat the Patriots in Frankfurt.
What a horrible product to give the
absolute, like, somebody needs to fix primetime, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this isn't like, I would consider this primetime because it's the one game on. Everybody has to look at it. I consider that primetime, whatever. Yeah. Semantics be damned, right? But nobody's talking about how crazy, like, so the Mac Jones era is done. So they need a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
They need a touchdown to win the game.
Yeah.
And instead of going with Mac Jones, who they drafted very high, I think even traded up a little bit to get him, and has been their quarterback for the last 2 years. Instead of doing that, you bench him for Bailey Zapp. So you're essentially saying, when I need to win the game, it can't be Mac Jones. It has to be Bailey Zapp. Which that blows up the entire premise of the starting quarterback. And then Bailey Zapp does exactly what Mac Jones would have done.
Yeah.
And now it's like you kind of like soured that relationship for, like, so if you trot out Bailey Zapp and he wins it, okay, it's kind of uncomfortable for everybody on the fucking 8-hour flight home, but at least you won the game. And now you like blew it up, and now it's like, oh shit,
I'm gonna increase your knowledge here of backup Patriots quarterback. It's Bailey Zappi.
Now Zapp?
No, Zappy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
He's gonna be pissed.
Mac Jones.
But just a weird,
very weird, very not.
I mean,
I don't know.
Even think of like Bailey Zappi there on like the last drive of like, oh hey, you're going in to go win the game, and then he tried like a fake spike, throwing a triple coverage.
That was fun.
But like,
I like the fake spike. I don't like the thrown to triple coverage.
But even we talked about that where I don't know if the receiver. I didn't watch the whole play. I watched Zappi throw an interception, but we just talked about it with the Cowboys and Eagles of like that fake spike, dude. Like if they don't know if your receivers don't know that you're going to do that, they only have one option. It's just to run wild down the field.
And Bailey Zapp is not the guy to take advantage of that. Zappy.
But like even the linemen, like they might not know. Now it's just like
just crazy.
Clusterfuck.
It's so weird to see the Patriots in.
I think the only time that works is if you have a receiver and a quarterback that have been playing together for a while, and you're able to like either call something out or like some sort of something where they know it, and you're just running a fade, dude. Like.
Yep.
or running something quick to where,
Yeah.
hey, this is
or
what
you have
we're
a Tyreek
doing.
who can break space quick, or if you have an A.J. Brown who can just bully the fuck
Or
out
you
of
just have a
somebody.
one-on-one where you just want to try to go throw it
they're
up or
just gonna
something.
grab the ball. Yeah.
You know, but you definitely can't throw it in the middle of the field.
Not Bailey Zappi throwing a Pop Douglas in triple coverage in Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah.
What a brand new sentence that is.
That is new.
That's a brand
That is
new
the first time that has ever been said in the universe.
I'm out on that game.
Yeah.
On to the next.
Yeah. Texans Bengals, dude. I heard the table knock as I spoke about C.J. Stroud from underneath the table over there.
Probably my personal game of the week.
Yeah, you were texting me asking if I was watching it.
Insane. So this felt more like a barn burner than the Lions Chargers, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I don't know, like because the Lions won and they're kind of supposed to win, but the Chargers were still a good team. Like the Texans were not supposed to win. The Texans were supposed to be good for 2 years. And the Bengals, obviously, they're still a very, very good team. But, I talked, like, their defense is top 5 DVOA. I mean, like, Joe Burrow's playing really well again. So then the Texans win with C.J. Stroud, a rookie quarterback out of Ohio State that usually those quarterbacks don't pan out. Devin Singletary. Nico Collins is out, so then he has to rely on Tank Dell, who's a 5'8" receiver, right? Do you know how – so this is crazy. Ready? So, and this, semantics. So, if you remove week 1, because I feel like week 1's like an outlier, right?
Yep.
I feel like everybody, like, Joe Burrow had 88 yards, and, like, Patrick Mahomes lost, right?
Yep.
So, every other, like, remove week 1. C.J. Stroud is first in yards per attempt, first in yards per completion, most completions over 20 yards, has the lowest interception rate, and he's second in yards.
Yeah. He's playing really well, dude. Playing really, really well.
Like, is there a world where you talk MVP for C.J. Stroud? Like, so if I said, hey, wanna know what? Josh Allen is first in yards per attempt, yards per completion, most throws over 20 yards, lowest interception rate, and he has second yards. You'd be like, well, yeah, he's MVP. You remove the name.
Yeah,
and
but if Josh
Allen's
5-4 like they are, we're not giving him the MVP.
I know, but it's usually also
it's also like part of it though. Right?
I'm not saying now.
So this is how. Well, yeah, we can look at the end of the year what their record is,
yeah,
right?
Because it's usually.
But like you wanted me to talk about MVP now. I think a rookie of the year record doesn't matter, right? We're not looking at your.
He's rookie of the year, no doubt, right?
Yeah,
barring it,
I think so too.
A collapse.
But I think for MVP, like you have to take into consideration, unless you just have numbers that completely outweigh, some record-breaking numbers, but your team's just trash, whatever. Then okay. But
it is usually whoever the quarterback is on the best team. I get that, but it's also usually a more "what have you done for me lately" kind of thing. So if they finish strong, I don't know, man. He's very good, and also like the Bengals are still, but now the Bengals are. I mean, the entire AFC North has to. They need to change the playoff to allow the entire AFC North in this year.
Expand the teams.
Like screw it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a tough loss for, like you said. The Bengals were supposed to win. It helps that the Browns and Ravens played each other, which we'll get into that game. Yep. But so another team took a loss. But the next game, Steelers and Packers. Steelers win.
Yeah.
They
got outgained again. Yardage. They've not gotten more yards in a game than their opponent this entire year.
Dude, did you see?
And look at their record.
Did you see Matt Canada get an absolute truck sticked on the sideline?
Yes, I did.
The last play, dude, that I thought it was going to be super.
Somebody's trying to kill Matt Canada because he's still awful.
They just had him.
And Kenny Pickett isn't that good, but Jalen Warren's good. Najee Harris is good.
Yeah, classic uniform matchup.
That is, yes.
Nice.
Yes, good aesthetic.
Yep, good aesthetic.
That pleased your eyeballs.
Steelers beat the Packers. That's all I really have to say about that. Yeah. Not too much. Not too anything too crazy. Texans Bengals were one of those game-winning field goals. Another game-winning field goal game. Browns Ravens, AFC North. Ravens come back to earth a little bit.
This was crazy. This was another crazy game.
Yeah, still with the divisions like we talked about, throw everything out the window. And it's a division game, you just never know, man.
Like with the Ravens eviscerated the Lions and the Seahawks the last 2 weeks. They were supposed to win this one because Deshaun Watson's not been that good.
Yeah,
and
he looked okay. He looked good.
He looked really good the second half. I mean, like he's obviously injured. He's getting an MRI on his ankle as we speak. Yeah. He's on a table somewhere, and he played really well. Yeah, I played Lamar in that second half. Lamar threw a pick six, weird pick six.
And I'm just looking at the stats here, and it looked like Amari Cooper kind of was being Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. David Njoku had a good game. Both had 6 receptions.
Could you imagine this team with Nick Chubb? Like this is the season of what ifs. What if Aaron Rodgers? What if Nick Chubb? Like
the Browns were my AFC North pick, dude. Remember when we did at the beginning of the year?
That's crazy.
I'm not going to take credit because without Nick Chubb, but I mean,
we should take extra credit.
They're at it, dude. I'm just curious out of these updated division standings for the AFC North.
It's just one fucking
bubble.
So
Cincinnati's at 5-4, Cleveland's at 6-3, Pittsburgh's at 6-3, Baltimore's at 7-3.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
best division in football, and it's not close.
And actually, with that loss, Cincinnati gets bumped out. Houston is now in at 7.
Let's go!
Yep.
Wow, isn't that
Cincinnati's 8, Buffalo's 9.
That's
which Buffalo
fair.
plays tonight. So if they
Bills
go
are
to
on the outside looking in as well.
Yep, if they go to 6-4, Buffalo will slide into that 7th spot.
If Bills lose to the Broncos, like it's just a playoff lottery at that point.
Yeah, if the Broncos lose tonight, they are still shitty.
Yes. No surprise there.
Yeah, no, just making sure you're paying attention.
I am paying attention. I'm sharp right now, bro.
Dude, you are sharp as a dull crane.
That was a good one.
The NFC playoff picture hasn't moved at all, but
it will.
So, good game. 49ers statement game. Are the Jaguars fraudulent?
Maybe.
I just don't know, dude.
So, I have a little factoid.
Okay, hit me.
At what point do you start getting worried about Trevor Lawrence? Not saying move off of him, but he's obviously not delivering on how he was drafted and hyped up or whatnot.
Yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence has more turnovers than touchdowns.
Yeah.
Since he's entered the league.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And actually, yesterday he passed Josh Allen as the turnover king in the league. That's not great. That's really not that great, dude. Man. It's kind of hard. And they're like, Calvin Ridley disappears?
I don't even want to get started about
He's like 9% target share. He's like a league low.
Yeah.
When he popped the hell off the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, dude. They're just not. They have weapons too. It's kind of like the same with the Chargers, but they're winning more games. Yeah. But even then, looking at their schedule, they've played, in my opinion, 2.5 good teams, we'll say.
So the record should be way better.
I take that back. More than 2.5. This is what their schedule was, right? Colts, not a good team. The Chiefs they lost to. Chiefs are a good team. Texans, I will say, are a mid to good team.
Yep.
They got blasted by the Texans, 37-17.
And that was before, yep.
Yeah, this was week 3.
And that was before, everybody started firing on all cylinders,
They beat the Falcons. They beat the Bills.
See?
We still don't know about the Bills. They beat the Colts again.
Yep.
So they're done with the Colts.
That's early, I feel like.
They played the Saints, and the Saints played them tough. I feel like the Saints are kind of like the Texans, where we don't really know what they are. If you don't bring your A game, they're going to beat your ass. But if you're on your P's and Q's, you're good to go.
They're top 10 defense.
Yeah. So I think the Saints are a good team, I would say. The Steelers, they beat 20-10. In that ugly game, I remember that.
That's a quality win. See, it's so messed up. You can't even
like the Jags. It looks like are beating the mid teams, but I think the Jags are also a good to mid team. We're talking about power rankings. I hate to keep going back to it, but they're winning these games.
I think they're underperforming for how they should be.
Are they a better Steelers? Where the Steelers are finding ways to win these ugly games. They're just a more skilled Steelers team.
Yeah.
Where they have better players at the skill positions, maybe some better coaching. Tomlin's great, but play calling and stuff right. He doesn't necessarily control all of that. But then just to get blasted by the 49ers at home.
That's rough.
It's super tough. So
and then, 49ers did have Debo and Trent Williams back. Completely different looking team. It's kind of crazy.
When you have one of your best playmakers and the best offensive tackle in the league, arguably, it's going to be tough. Vikings Saints. Go crazy, dude. I'll let you talk about this one.
First and foremost, free Chris Olave. As soon as Jameis Winston came in, and Winston is what we thought he was. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But he made some plays.
Jameis is ready to throw it 40 yards as soon as he wakes up.
At any minute. You could be in the red zone. He's ready to throw a 40.
He'll run backwards.
He doesn't care, man. Oh, my God, yeah. So that was fun to see Chris Olave come up and see Taysom Hill get shut down a little bit. But you know who we have to talk about.
Go ahead, dude.
We have to talk about the astronaut, Joshua K. Dobbs.
Yep.
Okay? He's really good. Who... we talked before about the Andy Dalton line to where, they established that Andy Dalton line.
Yeah.
He's good enough to win you games, not bad enough to bench or whatnot.
Yeah.
Dobbs is comfortably above that.
I think so.
I think Dobbs is better than, think about other starting quarterbacks. You'd probably take Dobbs.
Somebody made a list.
Did they?
Yeah.
Somewhere out there?
There was a 7 list. I mean, even just going off of these games that we're playing, right? So Dobbs, I think, is
take
probably...
Take him over Ritter. Take him over Heineke. That whole duo.
Yeah. Titans, I'd probably take Dobbs over Levis right now.
Yep.
I'd probably take Baker over Dobbs, but it's close.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Lions, Chargers, I'm not touching any of those. He would be a starter on the Colts or the Patriots. Texans, Bengals, he's not starting any of those. I'd probably take him over Jordan Love right now.
Yep, 100%.
I'd probably take him over Kenny Pickett. Deshaun and Lamar Jackson, probably not.
Deshaun, I don't know.
Deshaun's maybe, definitely not Lamar, obviously.
So I'm a sucker for dual threat quarterbacks, which he's really good at.
Yeah.
But he's out there and he's looking to make a play, which is really exciting,
Yeah.
So he has 368 rushing yards for the year.
He's a good runner.
That is second only to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he can run it.
He's third in rushing touchdowns, only behind Hurts and Allen, right? Joshua Dobbs has more rushing touchdowns than Austin Eckler or Derrick Henry or DeAndre Swift. That's crazy.
Say it one more time.
Derrick Henry.
Of what? What's the stat?
Rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Those are people that have less rushing touchdowns than Joshua Dobbs.
I'll find Josh Dobbs' highlight tape from Tennessee, and I'll send it to you, bro.
You have to.
He was nasty, dude. It was just one of those things where, honestly, I thought he would be a little more in the NFL, and maybe it just took him a couple years to develop. But, dude, it's just crazy, man. I think the Vikings got a steal.
And this is without Justin Jefferson. They traded down 20 picks in the 7th round to get Josh Dobbs, so they paid a nothing burger. Addison's having – so also, I'm biased, so I have Addison and Hawkinson on my fantasy team, so I kind of needed Josh Dobbs to, do something, right? Yeah. They're really sneaky good, but it's really funny. So Addison's obviously had to come out. Justin Jefferson.
Addison looked good. I watched the Vikings. I watched the Vikings Saints game before the Lions game because that was on Fox. And that's what I get on YouTube TV. So I was watching Josh Dobbs making crazy plays, making good throws.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just one thing that I really want to make a point about that game and watching that game is he just is comfortable, dude. He just sits in the pocket. He gives a good ball. He's obviously super smart. He's an astronaut.
Yep. So, literal rocket scientist.
But yeah, dude, he's just smart and calm. And
I got the Stroud and Dobbs jerseys coming.
You got to, dude.
And Richardson.
Now he's finally learning the playbook a little bit.
He knows what. Yeah, it's crazy. They're. I mean, right. I think actually right now, aren't the Vikings in the playoffs for the NFC?
Yeah, they were.
See, that's crazy. Yeah. So they could be a problem.
They're 6-4.
I don't think they're going to win the division, obviously, but no. So here's another really funny observation I have of this game. So T.J. Hawkinson, he's my tight end in fantasy. So I'm constantly looking for him, and I know he was questionable heading into the game.
Yeah.
And so they said this is just so funny, right? I don't think anybody else noticed this, but I was so worried about T.J. Hawkinson. So he was questionable heading into the game. They're like, hey, man, like, he had a decent warm-up. He's going to play. He might be on a snap count because he's dealing, like, with some pain.
Yeah.
But he's going to be out there for, like, big plays, right?
Yeah.
And he played probably more than he should have. But I swear to God, every single time this guy got tackled, it was the most disgusting, hard, painful tackle I've ever seen. So he got tackled 6 times, and every single time it was like a WWE match. There was one like
I saw like a funny
there was one
video,
where he
bro.
catches it on the sideline, and any other time they just naturally push him out, and they like Goldberg spear him in the back, and he's just like on the ground,
you're thinking
like,
of.
crying.
Are you thinking about the sideline where
No, man,
where
he-
Lattimore shoots his leg?
He got hit so many times. I did not see the leg one.
So there was
I saw
one.
a back one, and it's like he kept getting hit, bro.
There was one where it was on the sideline in the red zone, and Lattimore was a couple yards away from him, and Hawkinson caught it.
Yeah.
And basically Lattimore just like shot his leg. But when he shot his leg, he was like backwards, and it was his plant leg. Mm-hmm. So when he shot his leg went flying in the air. And he did like a half somersault and landed on his back.
Dude, he literally had 6.
It was pretty.
He had
sweet.
like 6 plays ending where I'm like, this guy just getting the shit beat out of him.
was,
I felt so bad.
Yeah, there was like I saw like a funny meme of like anytime Hawkinson catches the ball and it's like a WWE match, they're like hitting him with chairs.
That's literally what I'm thinking.
It's just
Dude, and like all I can think about is like Kevin O'Connell before the game. He's like, hey man, I know you're pretty banged up. I appreciate this. Like, I'm gonna trot you out like 3rd and short
he had a rib
situations.
injury is what they said. They said he was wearing like a corset looking thing.
Like Kevin O'Connell, like he has his fingers behind his back.
Yeah.
And he's like, just 3rd and short, maybe
Yeah.
catch it over the middle, fall down, and he's sending him out.
Yeah.
Against,
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore's going 20 miles per fucking hour.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was the only observation.
Yeah, so I mean, he played really well, and it seems like he's a nice little safety blanket, which Hawkinson's good at getting open.
I love tight ends.
So, Dear Diary.
That's a perfect Dear Diary moment.
So yeah, I mean, Dobbs looks good, dude.
I know.
So
Thank
hopefully,
you. I can't believe
I mean, I hope he's only so good. Obviously, being in the division, but
Yeah.
good for him. Happy for him that he finally found somewhere to go, and maybe Kirk. Maybe be back in his bags to go somewhere else.
I don't know. It's crazy. See, what a fun season.
Vikings didn't pay him yet, right?
Nope. No, they got Josh Dobbs for ham sandwich, so why would you?
All right. And then another fun game, Falcons-Cardinals. Kyler Murray's back.
He's fun to watch. He's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Again, I watched this one because it was the last one I was playing on Red Zone because I think it ran later. I think there was like the 4:25 start. But they're trying to go up to get this is another game-winning field goal, is it not? It is.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Kyler Murray does his Madden play
Well, yeah.
where he runs, like he snaps the ball. There's like a minute and 45 seconds left in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter, and he has to get like 20, 25 yards.
Yeah.
And he takes it, and he runs
that
to
the
his
one where-
left,
yeah.
and he runs like 20 yards back, and then he just shoots up.
Do you want to know one thing I noticed about that play? He looked slower than normal, I felt like.
Yep.
Like, he didn't look as fast, but he was fast enough to outrun everybody.
Yep.
But, like, as I was watching that, I went, oh, he doesn't look as fast as he, which, dude, it's your first game back
Yeah.
from tearing
There's a
your
mental thing,
ACL.
too. Like, you don't want to push it like
I
that
don't
hard.
expect
Yeah.
him to be, like, full speed running again, but that's just something that I noticed.
His toddler small steps kill me. Like, he
Yeah.
takes like 3 steps
Yeah.
when everybody else should
Just
take
itty-bitty.
like
Yeah.
everybody else takes like 1.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to like Hurts like high stepping, and Murray just
Yeah. Yep. Then it's just little. They get it. He gets where you gotta go. Then.
it happens, and he looks fun while doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just good to have him back. Like literally, like Kyler Murray threw like a big pass to Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
And I'm like the Robin Williams,
I think it was Trey
Jumanji meme.
McBride.
I'm like, what year is it?
Was it Zach Ertz?
It was Zach Ertz called one, didn't he?
I don't think so. I think it was Trey McBride.
And Trey McBride tore it up. I think Zach Ertz was activated. I think he got 1 or 2 catches.
Nope.
No?
Couldn't be more wrong.
Really?
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Maybe I manifested that. Is Ertz
Yeah.
on IR?
Oh yeah,
Good. Maybe he came off at one play.
it was for sure Trey McBride.
I love Trey McBride. He's my Madden tight end.
James Conner got activated. He was back.
He came back.
But Ertz is.
He looks
I think
slower
Ertz
than
is,
usual.
I think Ertz is out for the year.
Yeah, he's probably he should just retire with his soccer wife and retire an Eagle. Do your thing.
Another fun game. Giants Cowboys.
Not a fun game. I'm so
Giants receivers arguing with each other, yelling at each other. Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton.
All I goddamn see is the media being like, the Cowboys are back and Dak MVP, and I'm like, you beat up
They beat the shitty
you beat up Tommy Dorito, whose mom packed his lunch for him today, and he went home to watch. Oh my God, I was so upset.
Have you ever seen Shallow Hal?
I have seen Shallow Hal.
So the Cowboys are when the guy at the club does the hand thing. And it's like it's like the 49ers, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. And then he puts his hands up, and the Cowboys are hot. And then when he comes back away, then they're like a 6.
This is so good.
And then he puts his hands up, and the Cowboys are a 10. And then takes his hands away with the other good teams, and that's it right there.
That's so good. I love that. We're done talking about the Cowboys.
Yep, that's the Cowboys.
Holy cow! I'm so proud of you for that.
Yep. Was
that just off the cuff?
Yeah, dude.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good. Fuck the Cowboys. We're on.
Yep. The Seahawks Commanders next. Another game winner. Jason Myers.
Wow, he's on
scored 21 fantasy points for Joshua Schwartz.
That's insane.
Yeah, as a kicker.
DK Metcalf, I don't know how many fantasy points he scored, but I do know all of them came on like the last drive.
Yeah, I know they went to him quite a few times.
By the way, hang on. We got a flex back. Sorry, I forgot about something. The 49ers-Jags game.
Yeah.
Do you know how the 49ers are a good team and they were just kind of fucking with the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Did you see that they just tried to give CMC a touchdown to keep his streak going?
Dude, it would have been for the record.
Yeah, it would have been for the record, and they're just like, please. Like that's like so. That's like Madden shit when you have a game day goal and you tell the media he's going to get 3 touchdowns and you're already up and it's just like I just got to force it to this guy.
Yeah, and then after the press conference, he's like, everybody scored but me, I suck.
Yes, that's so funny. Okay,
yeah,
I just had to mention that. I could not let that be forgotten.
Seahawks win. Man, I need them to lose some games, bro.
Yeah.
Just to make us feel
nobody's
better.
losing any games.
And then Raiders-Jets, the Antonio Pierce train is still chugging down the track, dude.
As unimpressed. I don't know, it's chugging. It's not go.
And they play the Dolphins next week. We'll find out.
If they beat the Dolphins, holy cow. Then we're excited.
Listen to this. We're going to find out about Antonio Pierce. And I didn't know this. I'm just looking at it now. You ready for this schedule? Raiders play the Dolphins, Chiefs, Vikings, Chargers, Chiefs, and then they end with Colts, Broncos. So his next 5 games, we're going to find out what Antonio Pierce is about, which I hope.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. Like Antonio Pierce. That's the gauntlet, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. Super tough. But we're going to find out.
Get the ping pong tables in. The linemen are wrestling. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. And that is your Week 10 recap.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So going off of Josh Dobbs, I wanted to ask if you think you could be an NFL play caller. Quarterback receiving the play call, I should say.
No.
I wrote down, so it was kind of cool.
No, so
they had Joe Burrow mic'd up calling plays. And so this is what Josh Dobbs was calling. I'm going to give you 4 play calls that would be going on, let's say hypothetically, in Josh Dobbs' headset.
Right before it cuts off, and then there's dead silence, and
Yeah. So these ones, first play is Zilch left, 35 Wichita, Macho Toe on 1.
That's fucking crazy. Hang on.
That's the shortest. That's one of the shortest ones.
Hang on, okay, say that one more time.
Zilch left, 35 Wichita, Macho Toe on 1.
There's no way, dude. There's
Dice right, F Fly Whiskey Brady on 1.
Oh, see, I could do that one. No play action.
This one is a little bit longer. Dice right numbers, 3 Jet Spielberg on 1.
Dice right numbers, Spielberg on 1?
3 Jet Spielberg.
3 Jet Spielberg?
On 1. And then you ready for this one? This is 2 play calls, and I'll explain it to you after. But Trey Wright, closer, karate, can 12, duo alert, booty on 1.
One more time for the
Trey Wright, closer, karate, can 12, duo alert, booty on 1.
Sounds like you're slapping your hands on a goddamn keyboard, letting autocorrect do it. It's like when you press autocorrect.
Yeah. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is 2 play calls. So I think Trey Wright, closer, karate is 1 call, and then 12 duo alert booty is actually could, in my opinion, be 3 play calls. So So I'm going to read it one more time. Trey Wright, closer karate. Can is a keyword. 12 duo, an alert is a keyword. Booty on 1. So you know how when they come to the line, can. That means we're going to can 12 duo, which I think is a run. Duo is usually like a double team. And then I think if he goes all the way from can to alert, that's a play call. That's a fake duo. So if he's saying alert, 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 which they do at the line a lot, right? And somebody can fact check me on this, but pretty
People
sure.
right now are like, this guy actually knows fucking football. That's pretty
Well, I think that's 3 play calls.
That's insane.
Which it's at the line. So, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not though. But it's not though, because you're reading the defense, right? So if you go to the line,
simple at fucking all.
so the first play is Trey Wright closer karate.
Karate.
So then that is probably a pass play is what I would think.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes out and he sees probably 2 high safeties, he's gonna go right. Can is usually what it is. You're just touching your helmet. Can. And that means that, hey, the safeties are high, or I like what I'm seeing here. We're going to hand it off 12 duo, which 12, I have to think, but it would be probably one of the gaps, and it's a duo off the middle. And it may
Are
even
you
be,
Josh Dobbs?
I'm just saying.
This is crazy. This is really good intel.
But then even with the alert, booty, my guess would be that's a fake duo, fake handoff into probably something else.
Alert Booty is my go-to adult film.
Alert Booty. Duo Alert Booty.
There's no other show where you can transition from a shallow hell reference into calling play. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's impressive. That's
I know for a fact Trey Wright closer karate and can 12 duo are 2 play calls.
Yeah.
Because it's the can, and I'm assuming, like I said, and maybe I'm wrong, the alert booty could be a 3rd, or it could be something to do with the 12 duo. But I
really
don't
appreciate how you drip feed me like this, like high level knowledge.
Yeah.
So like my brain doesn't explode and I can like sleep at night. Because like first it was like you told me like the headset's cut off.
Yeah.
Which I did not know. And now you're yelling can alert booty at me. And
I'm
gonna sleep on that.
To be fair, what it probably sounded like, right? So it would be something like Zilch left 35, Wichita Macho toe on 1. Zilch left 35, Wichita Macho toe on 1 is probably what he's saying. And then it's probably going to be like, hey, Zilch left, you're going to have probably Zilch 0, right? So he's going to give your left guy his route, and then you're going to go back to 35 Wichita, which is, I don't fucking know what that is. But it's each scheme,
Wichita's
right?
a good word.
But all of those probably are routes for certain guys.
That's insane.
And then he's just going to go through. So a lot of these, as long as you're just learning another language, along with some languages that you already know when you go into these. Same thing with Dice Right, F Fly, Whiskey Brady. So like he probably has a good 15 seconds at least to probably explain that, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in like football terms, like this guy's doing this guy's doing this.
Well, it's taking you 5 minutes to
it's a
explain it to me.
Right.
So 15 seconds, yeah. It doesn't sound like a lot.
No. So yeah,
that was a fun segment to make me feel dumb. But
you're learning, dude.
I know, I'm learning.
But even then, like, you can go into
I'm officially more qualified than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, there you go. Like back into like the Lions Chargers game. Like if you go back and watch some of those, what the Lions were doing, that was really like messing with the Chargers was a lot of times defense will match personnel, right? So if you have a 2 tight end set and a running back, a lot of times you're going to be running the ball. What the Lions were doing, we were passing out of that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then what we were doing is we were running 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end set with a running back. A lot of times you're passing out of that. We were running out of that. So like when you have 3 wide receivers, the nickel, they have to bring a nickel in, which is a defensive back who maybe not be the best tackler as opposed to a linebacker or a defensive
100%.
end. So that's just like kind of the schemes and things.
They go so much deeper.
It's a chess match, dude. I could talk about it all day long.
There you go.
3-hour podcast tonight.
Bears playing checkers.
Well, they're chewing on the five pieces.
Maybe
what
not
they're
even
doing,
Tyson
bro.
Bajin be like,
Yeah.
king me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought it was
They've been
really...
shoving the pizzas up their nose, and like the parents have to like grab them out.
Yeah. So, I think a really, really good week of football.
Really good week.
You know, even the crappy games were close games. Like, they're still exciting, whatever. But with that and some more losses, some coaches' seats are getting a little hot.
I'm so glad that we're almost through the boring regular season, so we could get into the hot stuff like the NFL draft and coaches moving. Like let's get the playoffs and Super Bowl out of the way, and let's fire some coaches.
So I've got 4 coaches on my list that might be unemployed by the end of the year. With a 5th being, we can talk about him if we want, but Bill Belichick. Wait, what?
Bill Belichick's going to leave on his own terms.
Yeah, so
he will. I think will be gone. If I had to put money on it, I'd say he'll be gone, but it'll be like a parade and shit.
Yeah. So, coaches on the hot seat. I've got Staley with the Chargers, Brian Dable with the Giants, Matt LaFleur with Green Bay, and Riverboat Ron Rivera with Washington.
You ready for this?
Go for it.
Right off. 2 are gone, 2 are staying.
Okay. Who do you think?
I think. And this one has a contingency. I think if the Chargers miss the playoffs, I think Staley's out.
Okay.
Right? I think Dable, I think the upper management is a little stupid. And I think because of what he did last year.
Yeah.
And he won the Coach of the Year last year, did he not? I think so, because he dragged the corpse of everybody to the playoffs.
He might have,
Or he was in the voting, right? So I think Dable will get one more because if they want to move on from Daniel Jones. They're like, let's see what we can do with this, a healthy season, et cetera, right? I think...
Keep that Daniel Jones in your pocket. I've got some intel on that, so go ahead.
LaFleur, I think LaFleur will stay as well.
Okay.
And then I think Riverboat Ron is all but gone. I think, like, right now they're just... He's on, like, life support. I don't know. He's even coaching. Like, I don't know.
The only person I agree with is Brian Dable. I think other three are gone.
Really?
Yeah. So
you agree on Riverboat Ron and Staley being gone. You just disagree with me on Matt LaFleur.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of said that aggressive.
Well, you know.
I
I think Staley has had his chances.
Too many, dude. Too many.
There was some weird play calling too that I saw, just weird. So one thing that I can just put into layman terms, there was one play where we came out and he had Khalil Mack lined up over Sam Laporta in the slot. That was a real play.
That's crazy.
It was a real play. He had Khalil Mack in coverage, like in whatever kind of cover 4 thing they had underneath.
Okay.
But
it's like on Madden when you take control of a lineman, you accidentally back up. You're like, oh shit, get back.
So he just, I don't know, man.
No.
The play calls suck, and I think like they have such a good team, and they've had like talent that he's just misusing. Yep. He just looks.
I feel like he used to be better. Yeah, he looks decent. He looks a little checked
I think
out.
he's good. Like he's good to check out, and so I don't think he's gonna last to the end of the year. I know that if I was a Chargers fan, get him out. Like we only got so long with Herbert and Eckler, Keenan Allen.
You got to use him, man.
So and you just that play stuck out to me a lot, where you have Khalil Mack lined up, and it's like, dude, they didn't even really get any pressure.
That's the kind of play. Like now
you
that
have 2 All-Pro guys on each side, and you don't get any pressure, bro.
Like, man,
they're dropping them into coverage and shit. Like, what are you doing?
I don't believe. Like we're not in the corporate world, but we're working humans, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen stuff, and I honestly believe like when people get fired, nobody's like, what?
Yeah.
Like I could not see this coming beyond a shadow of a doubt, right?
Yeah.
So Staley must know like he's underneath a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
This is the play to where the higher ups call him into the office.
Yeah.
And they just have like a projector on. And just like
it's
just a
when
freeze.
You dropped Khalil Mack.
It's just coverage. A freeze frame of Khalil Mack lined up against Laporta, and they have like one of those long pointer sticks, and they're like,
but like, dude,
we can both agree.
It was like I want to say, because somebody else pointed out on TikTok today, they broke down the play, and they're like, what are they doing? But like, what do you do? Like, there's just no, I don't know. There's nothing that you can tell me that.
Nope, you can't sell me on that.
He shouldn't be rushing the passer. I don't care if it's 3rd and 15 or whatever it was. Like, I don't care if it's short. Like, I don't care if it's an empty set. Like, he's not even like, it's not even where he's like jamming a tight end that's just off the line and then rushing the passer, which like he still is stupid. But like, he was in the slot. Like,
that's crazy.
Laporta was not even. He was in a 3-by, and Laporta was in the middle of the 3 guys, and Khalil Mack was all the way out there.
He was way out.
He jammed him and then dropped into coverage. Khalil Mack. Yeah, that one. Like, bro.
So Staley's gone.
Staley's gone.
That's so good.
Dable, I think, because of what he did last year, he'll get a little bit longer leash, right? And I think like they got to figure out some player situations. I think he'll get a little bit longer leash because of that.
Some sort of stability.
I think this is why I think LaFleur will be gone, is because it's the Packers, and those people similar to like the Cowboys, similar to like some of these other like diehard, diehard football fandoms, like they want him gone. So
could you see him being considered part of the old guard? So like I could see them arguing that, be like, okay, he was there like with Rodgers and stuff like that. Like, if we're gonna move on, let's move on.
How much did Rodgers carry him too? Is like a question you can ask. Like, hey, dude, like you've got
so much he blew his Achilles. That's a good joke. You carried him so hard.
Be careful, dude. And then Ron Rivera's a tough one too. I kind of just threw him in. Dude, they're on the like they might make the playoffs.
No, he'll be
like they're still competing with giving up 2 of their best defensive linemen.
I
think he should.
There's no smarter man on earth than Eric Bieniemy, because he took this OC job, probably knowing Riverboat Ron was kind of on the hot
seat.
Think
he just gets promoted?
100%. Or what I could have saw. So I think if Washington would have lost, they lost this one, didn't they?
Yeah. They lost to Cardinals, right?
I mean, I think there's a real chance to where Ron Rivera gets fired while we're doing this show.
Yeah.
And then Eric Bieniemy
calls us, wants to be on the show. We say no politely.
We say we're busy. I'm an Eagles fan. That's kind of awkward.
Oh, yeah.
And then Bieniemy becomes interim.
Yeah.
And then they do a little bit of a. I mean, I could even see that as big brain. We got a new owner. Yeah. I could even see him being like, hey man, if there's slightly a chance, the fan base, I creep on the fan bases, the communities. A lot of people hate.
Dude, that's your best quality.
I know. A lot of people hate Ron Rivera, and they're like, Bieniemy. So then, liberty. Right? That's what it sounded like. Don't sue us. So then, imagine this. He gets rid of Ron Rivera. Bieniemy steps up. They happen to do that 20% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Harold, a new owner, you're a genius, new head coach, going to next season with Sam Howell just throwing piss missiles.
Yeah, that could be fun.
That's my move.
That could be fun. I have a perfect situation once Staley gets fired. I've already got a new hire.
Harbaugh.
Ben Johnson, Lions. Think about what he could do with Herbert.
You do not wish it.
Oh, I wish it, no. But I'm a realistic person.
So this is another thing.
Think about that. Think about if you're Ben Johnson. Like what you turned down the Panthers job last year, right? You politely declined. I don't remember who else he interviewed with, or first-year coaches. I don't know, maybe like the Cardinals or something, right? But think of how good the Chargers situation is with the players that they have and Ben Johnson and his background, and now you've got Herbert as your quarterback.
Yeah, don't even.
I mean, I don't want him to.
Lions fans are hilarious. So on Reddit and Twitter, they'll be like inquiring minds want to know. Like people like of these teams are like, hey, like just kind of feeling it out, bro. Like, how's Ben Johnson? How's your offensive coordinator?
Horrible.
And they always say he is shit.
Yeah.
Like Goff is carrying him. I don't know. Like, is he still calling plays? I'm not sure.
I think Dan was calling plays last week.
And they're like, man, like he's no good. Like,
it
cracks me up every single time.
Yeah. I think that's a no-brainer for Ben Johnson, though, dude. Yeah. I think it's like a perfect situation. I wish he would be the Lions coordinator for as long as he wanted to be.
Yeah.
So who knows? But we might be out of both coordinators next year, him and Aaron Glenn.
That's what the Eagles went through, and we're doing okay.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy as it sounds. It is a terrifying place to be in. But you guys probably will get poached.
But I still think
I hope it's not during the fucking Super Bowl.
I still think like Dan Campbell has learned a lot from play calling with him, that he can kind of step up there. So, yeah, those are the coaches on the hot seat, dude.
Done.
Yeah, our seats never been colder. Nobody's replacing us.
Nobody has the grapes. Nobody could even be paid to talk about Shallow Hal and Wichita 30.
Z-Fly.
Z-Fly. We're alert booty. We're good.
We're going to talk some college football.
We got time to talk college football? We do have a little bit of time to talk college football.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't aware, college football is what happens usually before the NFL.
Yeah, we'll talk about this NFL draft a little bit, more so like some of the players that are coming out.
Do you want me to wheel out my draft board or not? Yeah, that's off season.
Well, I've got in this picture that I shared with you that you never look at is the updated draft order.
So let me peek at this. Is this the updated draft order?
Yeah, with the Giants losing yesterday. So it's Bears/Panthers pick at number 1.
So Bears have the pick, but it's the Panthers pick that they got. But so
Correct.
Bears?
Yep. And then Giants at 2, Cardinals at 3, Patriots at 4, Bears with their own pick at 5, and then the Packers at 6.
Wow.
So what we'll do, we'll go back. I want to talk a little bit about some quarterbacks, and then we're going to go draft order, and we'll just basically talk about those top 6 picks and what you think, like if you were put our GM hats on and who you're picking if you're these teams. So I really wanted to talk. I get the benefit.
Hang on. Before I let you do your thing.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about football at work.
Nope.
But I saw you, and you're skipping around the campus today, and I'm like, hey, Zach, what's going on? And you said, I cannot wait to talk about college football on the podcast tonight. So it's good to see, like, I'm ready to, like, you were so excited. It filled my heart with joy that you finally watched college football.
Yeah. I was the beneficiary of being able to watch North Carolina and Duke play Saturday night, and got to watch Drake May play. And I've probably followed Drake May a little closer than all the other quarterbacks. I have on YouTube TV ACC Network, and they have it's kind of like Hard Knocks, but it was with North Carolina's football team.
Shit, okay.
So you get to see behind the scenes with Drake May and things like that. But I hadn't gotten to watch him, and this was before the NFL season started. It was when I was watching that, so I hadn't got to really watch Drake May play. And I watch college football, but I don't watch it like NFL. But I watched North Carolina versus Duke, and Drake May is the real fucking deal, man.
You think?
I love
even against
Drake
Duke?
May. Duke, first of all, Duke was ranked.
Really?
Yeah, they were both ranked, I believe. And
what stands out about them?
And every throw that Drake May makes is an NFL, like, it reminds me a lot of, and this is like, take it with a grain of salt, but it's
but as we enter draft season, we have to make comps, and we're not saying it's as good as these people, but there are shades of these people.
It just reminds me of Jared Goff.
Okay.
As far as, like, when you look at Jared Goff throw the ball, the receiver has a chance almost every time. Like, Jared Goff is very accurate when he throws the ball.
Yep.
95% of the time.
Okay.
Right.
So is that like? So actually, I've not like gone into it.
And that's like a college football thing though too, right? Sometimes these guys are just like making throws, right? Making throws, throwing the ball down the field, giving their athletes a chance, whatever. No, Drake May is putting these footballs in spots that like where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you've got a defender on the inside. He's throwing a nice little outside fastball to give his receiver a chance.
Is he more of a pocket passer than Drake May?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say, like, and he can move around a little bit, but like.
Wait, so he's kind of like just call it without even seeing it, more like this year's C.J. Stroud, because we have two quarterbacks that, one apparently thrives out of structure. One is more pocket passer precision. That was C.J. Stroud's big thing, is that he was really precise.
Yeah.
And you're saying Drake May has those characteristics.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, Drake May moved around a little bit, but like
in college you have to.
Yeah, but he just was slinging it, man.
That's good.
Like, and I'm gonna try to do a better job. Duke was not ranked. That's my fault.
Well, we're gonna,
but they're 6-4.
We're gonna have a lot of spare time,
and maybe they're not ranked anymore because this was earlier in the week. So they would have been 6-3 before this. But Duke's got some guys, man. North Carolina ended up winning in double overtime, 47-45.
Okay.
They ended up winning on a stopped 2-point conversion. Duke scored. They didn't get the 2 points.
Oh, jeez.
But I mean, dude, like
So he's one of the big two,
Yeah.
It's Caleb Williams
him
and Drake
and Caleb
May.
Williams.
And I know Caleb Williams' stock has been falling, like, pretty consistently.
Yeah. And, I mean, like, you look at his numbers for this game. He threw the ball 43 times. He only had 1 touchdown, which is kind of crazy. He actually ran for 2 touchdowns. So
In college, yeah.
So he only ran for 22 yards, though. So he had 12 carries for 22 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. And then they had a guy that ran a touchdown.
Hey, man, that speaks a lot. Like, that means that he's 22 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. That means you're in the red zone, and they are terrified of you putting it where it needs to go.
Yeah.
So everybody's back, and then he just happens to fall out of structure and make it work.
And I was very impressed with his arm, right? So I like Drake May. Yeah, I like Drake May a lot. I might be a little biased just because of me watching that show and stuff. But here's my question for you.
Yeah.
So this is the big one. Okay.
This is the one.
This is the question. You need a quarterback, whether you're the Bears, the Giants, the Patriots, whoever. Do you take Caleb Williams or do you take Drake May? And my thing is those are 2 very different people, right? Drake May, I think, is a little bit safer pick. Caleb Williams has the pressure on him. He's a little bit – I'm not going to – don't take this the wrong way, but he's a little bit more in, like, the limelight
100%.
at USC,
100%.
right? He's friends with Bronny James and LeBron James, and he's at in Los Angeles and California. And you got Drake May, who I think is a little bit more reserved. You don't really hear a lot about him. His brother was a very good basketball player at North Carolina, but like other than that, like you don't really know anything about him. So like, does that matter to you as far as drafting a quarterback?
So.
Because that's a lot of pressure.
It does.
On Caleb Williams. He's supposed to be the number 1 pick.
Yes, 100%. And so, like, we're just going to get right into draft season, right? I have a secret. And the secret is that for some reason, Caleb Williams gives me the ick.
Okay.
And I think it's for that exact same reason. Like, and you see some of his responses, like, when he's losing and he's not having a good season, and, like, they're losing, and I'm like, he's not handling it as, like, well as, like Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be generational. And, like, obviously he was really good, not losing. But even in, up against opposition, he handled it, I feel like, just a bit more maturely. I don't want to go this insane.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams does have, I think, shades of Johnny Football to him.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, I could, because
more
again,
like on the field and press conference stuff. Like, obviously not like off the field issues.
not off the field issues, but I could see him securing
like
the bag.
media issues. Yeah,
100%. He's not like driving cars and drinking and all this kind of and partying and stuff. But I do feel like, and I do think it could, like, it's exhausting. So I love following the NFL draft, and I love everything about it. Yeah. But it's exhausting when, for the last year or 2 years, I'm looking up quarterback prospects, and people are like, man, you should pass on this guy for Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And, like tank for 2 more years. I'm like, this is the kind of, like, that fucks with somebody's head over a long time.
I think so.
Right?
Like, not even to his fault. Like, the amount of pressure that he is under is something that a lot of people will never understand.
No,
right?
ever.
Because he won the Heisman last year.
Yep.
Right? And he had a whole other year to come back.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you have to be this guy, and now they're not winning games.
Yeah.
And
now a talking head like me is talking shit. Like, it could flex an entire different way.
Any sort of, mistake on the field is absolutely magnified by everybody.
Everybody.
Right? And
everybody.
It's just like...
And I also do trend more towards the raw kind of, out of sight, I suppose, prospect. So that's why Drake May does appeal more to me.
Michael Penix, dude.
Penix?
He's running up my draft board too, dude.
I love the name.
I bet you do.
I love the name.
But yeah, him, J.J. McCarthy.
He's going to be a first rounder for sure, right?
Yep.
Like
him, Bo Nix.
And again, he's another one that I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know if he's NFL ready. Like, I watch McCarthy. I'm a huge U of M fan. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's got that dog in him, but sometimes with ball placement and shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
him, I think Shadur Sanders already said he's not coming out. I don't know how true that was.
I can't see it. Like,
if he comes out, he'll obviously be in that, I think, convo.
He'll be late. He won't, like, he's...
I was reading the prospect thing today, and he's like...
don't fall for it.
Just saying. So, anyways, another person to talk about,
Drake
but
May.
I don't think he's coming out. So you'd go Drake May, the safer pick.
Right now.
Yeah, and this is just based off of very little research.
Higher floor, lower ceiling. Yeah, right. Gut check. This is a gut check, and we'll get into...
Yeah, I think it would be, I think it'd be really cool to, like, be able to interview the guys, like, the actual draft prospect, thing that they do going through everything. Like, that would be fun to, like, be a scout, dude.
So I got a real quick thing about that. We're going to run over on time, but that's fine, right? I kind of love talking about this shit, right? But I also do think Drake May, because he is a little bit more raw. I do think he has to go to a more established franchise, which obviously helps all the time. But, like, if you throw him into the Bears, like, that's bad. Like, I feel like they would ruin this, just maybe people say they ruined Justin Fields or whatnot. But, no, this is really interesting that you talk about that. So I saw I don't know if it was an Eagles beat reporter or something like that, but so they were talking about, like, the draft process, and they, like, interview and sit down, and they said that the front office for the Eagles talked to Jalen Hurts doing their due process, and they're like, this guy has everything up here mentally that Carson Wentz doesn't, and Carson Wentz is he's known for kind of being a crybaby and like a problem in the locker room when things aren't going his way. Then Big Dick Nick Foles comes in and wins the Super Bowl, and they were just like going through, like, you have to meet with everybody. It's your fucking job. You have to meet with everybody. And they said they weren't even planning on taking a quarterback. Yeah. But then they talked to Hurts, and they're like something just, like, clicked. Yeah, dude. Which is crazy how, like, that can, like, turn an entire franchise. Yeah. Like.
But that's the thing is, like, that's what these winning franchises do, dude. That's like the Lions. Like, I'm sorry, but the Lions have a certain type of player that they're looking for. And if you're not that, then they're all set, dude. Yep. Like, you go and get these guys that
they talk shit about Gibbs and Laporta all post-draft.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but, like, I'm just talking about player types in general.
Right.
Like, if you go and you look at some of these later rounds, they're just going to get dogs, bro.
Yep.
Like, you look at Rodrigo, dude, and you look at, like, Hutch, and you look at Kirby Joseph, and you look at
Hutch. Everybody's looking at fucking
But even
Hutch.
Then, though, look at him compared to the guys that were drafted around him.
Yeah.
Like, you think about what Hutch was built on, and it's his work ethic, and
somebody
being
picked
a good
Trayvon
teammate.
Walker over him, obviously.
That's what I'm saying, though. But, like, I'm sorry, but there's a reason why they ran to the podium to get Hutch. Like,
I love it because, like, so talking about operating out of structure, this is what we do at the end of the show, right? Yeah. Here's another thing that comes to mind, right? Talking about going to get players and making it work and stuff. Like, is the Jared Goff Matt Stafford trade the most win-win trade you've ever seen?
They just talked about it yesterday too.
That's crazy.
Matt Stafford was on Pat McAfee today.
Really?
And Pat tried to give him a little bait. Like, try to kind of talk shit about Detroit, like, hey, you're happy that you left and all that stuff, right? Like, and Matt didn't take it, dude. Matt was like, no, excuse me, Matthew. He likes to be called Matthew. But he kind of was like, no, I was very thankful for my time in Detroit. I wouldn't change anything about the players or anything that happened. And he goes, I'm happy to go to the Rams and win a Super Bowl, and hopefully, we sneak one more in and that kind of thing. Man. But I think it was a win-win.
Super win-win.
Trade. I think everybody's happy. And
Rams and Stafford get a ring, and boom.
All right, dude. So let's play a little.
Well, it's lightning round.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you who you would draft.
Yep.
And then I will give my 2 cents about what I think. So first up on the board.
Like, hey, right now my knowledge is like 3 deep, and
that's okay. But if you're not taking a quarterback, just tell me, like, because essentially what we're doing here is who's going to take a quarterback, who's going to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
And
then if somebody needs a tackle or something, right? Yeah. Which all of these players, I think, all of these teams. But give me your analysis. Yeah. Bears first overall pick,
and we're not trading around or doing anything stupid like that, right?
No.
So I think Bears.
Because this is the Bears are kind of in a trap here, and I'll throw my 2 cents in before, but I almost think because I don't think you necessarily have to be done with Justin Fields, but I almost think you take Harrison Jr. at 1, bro.
You think so?
Yeah. Because my thought process is Marvin Harrison Jr. is for sure not going to be there at the 5th pick. I'm almost positive. Right. I don't think all of these teams take tackles. Marvin Harrison Jr.
will
not be at the number 5 for the Bears.
No, 100%.
Right. So I think if you don't take him at 1, he's gone.
He's going. Yeah.
So,
Bears is not getting him back. He's going 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I think if you take Harrison, you get Fields and Harrison, or you get Caleb Williams, and then I don't know who you would take at 5. You're not pairing anybody with Caleb Williams.
You think best I'm tracking. This tracks, right?
Yeah.
So and I'm thinking, right? So you think they take, and it all depends how they feel about Fields, right?
Yeah.
But
Fields.
why not take Marvin Harrison Jr. Because that's the guy. All the prospects, of all the positions, he's the one you can't miss.
Yeah.
You take Marvin Harrison Jr. and then you're saying if at 5 Drake May is still hanging out,
that's what I was
you
thinking,
take Drake
him or
May
Penix.
and you start him or Penix, right?
Yeah. Depending on how
or if not,
high
then you
Penix
can,
goes.
or then they take Marvin Harrison and let's say Caleb Williams, Drake May, and maybe they don't like Penix. Then they can still be like, yeah, Fields, we got you a weapon, bro. And then you can
even then, or you
there.
get another tackle. I think Fields is good enough.
Yeah.
If you have DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison,
that's good.
Jr.
I mean, it could open up.
But even then, you're still not tied to Fields, bro. Even then, we can still figure something out, right? You might be able to take. Yeah, you could, maybe you get
You're getting me too excited for the draft. This is too good.
So I think at the Bears at number 1, you have to take Marvin Harrison, bro.
That's hot. So then we go Giants.
So the Giants, I think the Giants are pissed. I think the Giants want Caleb Williams to go number 1, and so they can take Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
I think if Marvin Harrison goes, I don't think they draft a quarterback.
You don't think they go QB? You don't think they panic draft?
I think – so I was looking at Daniel Jones' contract today, and they have he has another year. 2025 is when – his contract is
you're talking
you can get out of it.
Yep.
So he's there. He's on contract till 2027.
You're talking,
but dead cap space.
Yep.
When you cut him, 2025 it goes from 60 mil to 22 mil.
Yes.
Which is a lot better. So I think they have to, and maybe they get somebody to sit for a year. So I think if Caleb Williams drops to the Giants, I think that
you think they pass.
It's super tough. That's a not win now thing.
Yep.
Right? Because if you're getting a quarterback that high to sit, you're not trying to probably win at the moment.
So then Cardinals, then it all depends how they feel about Murray.
I think Cardinals hold on to Murray because they just paid him. I don't think they want to.
The greatest fall for quarterbacks ever. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray
talked about it last week.
Are in the same boat where they are under contract. It's definitely not team friendly for at least a couple years. Kyler Murray even more so because I think they just re-signed him. At least they gave Daniel Jones a little out after a year or so.
You're pure evil because do you know what you're manifesting right now? What? You're manifesting the New England Patriots get a potentially generational quarterback and terrorize the league for years to come.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know how well do those guys.
Patriots take a quarterback. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So the Patriots complete reset. Bill Belichick retires. They bring in a new coach. They bring in Caleb Williams.
Ben Johnson.
Or Drake May. You never know, dude.
And then Bears again. Then you think they pick up.
I think they
Let's say it goes our way.
I think they have a good chance of taking either Drake May or Caleb Williams, whoever the Patriots decide they want. And I don't think Giants Cardinals take a quarterback.
And then Packers will draft some fucking Pac-12 cornerback.
Yeah. Well, it worked out last time.
Did it?
Pac-12. Aaron Rodgers.
I said cornerback.
Oh, cornerback. Sorry.
Not quarterback.
Yeah, they said quarterback.
I'm like, how knowledgeable are you of Pac-12 cornerbacks? I'm like, you just know?
No. I think the Packers. I think that they have enough young guys, like receivers, that they want to see how that pans out first because they keep just adding young.
I feel like they have 10, 20-year-old receivers.
That's what I'm saying. So you kind of want to see
Dobbs,
how
Christian Watson, there's another guy running around. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Yeah. What's his face? Can't think of his name.
Well, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's another one. So I mean, I think that they have like enough receivers and weapons. Maybe I don't know what the running back situation is going to be, but maybe they go like offensive line. I think that's probably a good play for the Packers.
I was making a meme joke about how they're traditionally not that good at drafting.
Yeah.
They will trade up. They'll give up like 3 first-round picks to trade up and take J.J. McCarthy or something bullshit like that. No. Probably offensive tackle. I love the trenches. You know I love the trenches.
That's where it starts, baby.
That's their
franchise start.
Book it.
All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah, dude.
This was a good one.
A long one, sorry.
Long one. Sorry. We got a quick shout-out. Don't be sorry. We're here together.
Dude, I rambled about plays for a long time. Shout out Joe Burrow for being mic'd up and letting us hear some of his play calls.
Shout out, oh my God, what's his name? Is it Jack Black in Shallow Hal?
Yeah.
Shout out Jack Black.
Yeah.
In Shallow Hal.
Yep.
Did that movie not age well?
Yeah, probably not.
Who you just shouting out?
What?
Who'd you shout out?
I said Joe Burrow.
Play the music.
Woo!